Good evening. Pursuant to Chapter 2 of the Acts of 2023, this meeting will be conducted in person and as a courtesy via remote means in accordance with applicable law. Please note that while an option for remote attendance and/or participation is being provided as a courtesy to the public and board members, the meeting hearing will not be suspended or terminated if tech problems interrupt the virtual broadcast unless required by law. Viewers can visit the scene.media/Duxbury/forwardly Pack TV to watch a video replay of this meeting on Duxbury YouTube. Good evening. We're back to our regularly scheduled business, and we're going to be working on the capital budgets and the articles for CPC, trying to get some votes in for the town meeting that are not particularly override connected. So, Nancy, are you here?
Yes, I'm gonna promote her.
Oh, good, okay. Alex, do you care if we do a couple of the CPCs first, so when she's here? Okay, great.
Alan had said.
Oh, yeah, can you promote Al and Ted as well?
Alan, Ted?
Yep.
Okay.
And Holly's online it too, so if we're gonna start with CPC.
Yeah, just so that, because I know that Nancy. Hey, Holly.
Hi,
We're getting there.
thanks for moving us up.
No, it's fine. Because I know Nancy has to go to a meeting.
I do.
Okay. All right.
We get everybody.
All right, great. Let's start with the CPC articles and see if we can get something done here that will move us towards town meeting. What do you say, gang? So some of these are almost boilerplate. So operating fund and allocation 16 and 17. So let's start with 16 on the operating fund. Mary had gone through when Holly was here about the allocations that we were going to be doing. It's the same as we've done since we've had CPC. Does anybody have any questions regarding those allocations and the operating fund? Or are you comfortable with any questions that you might have? Anybody?
I'm good.
Anybody good? Sean, you okay?
I
Teddy?
recommend removing them both.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, kids.
Okay.
Mary, you have the numbers?
I do, do you guys have your handouts from last time?
No, I think well, actually, I'm sure I do, but I haven't got
Can we look
them.
at the screen?
Yeah, put them on the screen. That'd be great. There we go. Okay. Okay, I need a motion for Article 16. Kathleen, do you want to?
Yeah, move to approve Article 16 CPC operating fund.
Second,
Per motion?
these are the numbers here, right?
Yep, these are the motions, appropriate 312,668. And debt service 111,643.
Administrative expenses,
Oh, sorry.
111,643, debt service, $201,025.
Yep, I am blind. Yes, it is now official. All right. Any questions? Do I have a second?
Yes, I do.
Okay. All those in favor, we got to do a roll call. So Chuck will go around this way and then we'll go to the board.
Chuck, aye.
J.R.I.
Friend, aye.
Yeah, aye.
Betsy, aye.
Kathleen, I.
Okay. Sean?
Aye.
Teddy?
Ted's declined to.
Ted's not there? Okay.
He's here, but he's.
Al?
Hi.
Aye. Okay.
So that, I'm gonna record that as 8-0.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, please.
Thank you.
You're welcome. 17, allocations. Mary, do you want to pop that one up? All right, great. Similar, we do this every year. This is where we take a percentage of what we predict we're going to get and we put it in open space and housing and historic. Nothing here that is different, 672, 855 for all of the moves with 224, 285 to each of those places, okay? Any questions? All right, can I have a motion?
Move to approve Article.
Second.
Oop, all right.
Article 17 allocations. Okay, Fran, do your thing.
Okay, all right, so, Chuck,
Chuck, I.
J.R.I.
Brenda, I.
Betsy, I,
Kathleen, I.
Sean,
Sean, I.
okay, and Al,
Aye.
is Teddy in?
Is Ted, do you want to vote by typing in the chat? It looks like he's on a phone, so it might be a
Okay.
challenge for him.
All right,
So
so-
I'm gonna record that as 8-0.
800, we got that done. We are rolling here.
Great, thank you.
We have some fireproof file cabinets for the town clerk.
No, you have a CPC replacement.
Skipped over.
Oh, sorry. Again, blind. Okay. Okay, gangway and float, Article 18, CPC replacement of Bluefish gangway and float, $21,000. Do we have any additional questions?
I do.
Okay,
I'm trying to understand why this particular float. Replacement of this float is different than how we expense or allocated funds in the past. Because in the past, the floats came for like Howland and for Shipyard were from the capital budget or capital allocation and funded by what is it, waterways?
Yeah, we typically fund through like this.
Typically funded the waterways. Just wanted to know what made this one different.
Holly, have any ideas what party dress this for?
Unless Nancy knows as to why the harbor master has changed this, it has multiple purposes. It is used for recreation. People are coming and going off that float, as well as for safety purposes, if, in need, if they have to remove somebody off the water quickly. I did,
It fit within your parameters, Holly?
it does, absolutely.
Yeah. And
So-
I didn't hear, oh, sorry. I didn't hear any specific reason why it was, this was a CPC request. My only thought would be just a funding, that it might not have made it as a capital request, and it's in disrepair to the point where it needed, more immediate,
Yeah, Nancy, I
attention.
probably have no problem with the need for it. I'm just trying to understand, we're to get the expenses in kind of the right buckets where the precedent has been in capital,
Yes, did.
right?
Mhm.
It's just,
There's not sufficient funding available for all of the capital needs, so this was
You on your
funding
phone?
availability.
So the harbor master decided that he would try an alternate source of funding for something he knew he needed.
so going forward, are we going
Try it
to
like
put the
laptop.
expense for additional floats
Oh, that should
that
work.
need replacing
Go out and come.
into CPC?
I think it would depend on what the
Okay,
needs
if you want,
were
if you want, I can
and
keep you on the
funding
phone.
the funding availability and whether the CPC was open to that request.
There's not a.
Try to get back in.
That's, that's okay if you don't, but I think that there really isn't a better explanation than
Okay.
that. Okay, can I have a motion for,
Move to approve Article 18, CPC, replacement of the Bluefish gangway and float in the amount of $21,000.
Second.
okay. All those in favor, Chuck,
Aye.
JR,
J.R.I.
Brenda,
Yeah, aye.
Betsy, I.
Kathleen, no.
I.
Okay.
aye.
And
Al.
Al,
Aye.
I
okay,
have Ted on the phone. He's trying to get in. He's here. He wants to participate. But he's having trouble getting into the meeting.
So he's in the
Oh, maybe
meeting,
it's
and I'm-
because there's new
I'm
numbers.
sending him a note to promote him so that he can interact with us. And
He is
it's-
on his iPad. He's not on his phone.
Okay, he will get a pop-up message that will ask him if he wants to join as a panelist. He needs to
Okay.
answer the affirmative.
Oh, he hung up.
Okay, so can I just confirm that I'm gonna record that vote as a 7-1?
710.
Perfect.
Okay, and now Article 19. Replacement of John Alden's gravestone. John Alden's still dead and you took a gravestone. We have that, 4,000, what's it cost, 8,000,
8,000 CPC.
Okay, move to approve Article 19, replacement of John Alden's gravestone. $4,000 is being contributed by the Alden Kindred with $8,000 out of CPA funds for the
12
remainder.
grand for gravestone.
Hmm?
Is that right?
Hmm?
12 grand for gravestone.
12 grand for a gravestone.
and it's only slate.
It's late, yes.
It
That-
has been.
This was the lowest price. I tell you, the range in expense for this was extraordinary.
My only objection when we were talking about it was, it's not historic. It's just a replacement of a replacement of a replacement.
Correct.
So,
Excuse me, but that's the same argument we heard from the state about Powder Point Bridge. And whether it's-
Right.
We're gonna make the argument that it's scenically historic, just as that is marking a historic site in the town. Worth
Right.
remembering.
and I would assume, Holly, that when the request for funds comes, they provide you with invoices.
Yes. Oh,
Oh,
yes.
there's Teddy. Teddy's back.
You made it. Good.
Okay, great. So any other questions?
Nope.
Chuck?
Nope.
No.
Oh,
question.
no, yes, yes. No, I didn't know we were voting already. What's our motion? I didn't know there was already a motion. I thought we were still,
There we go. Second.
I thought you said I have any questions.
I did.
You did a second?
Second.
Okay, Chuck,
Chuck, aye.
there you are.
JRI.
Brenda, I.
That I.
That's the aye.
Kathleen, I.
Sean, I.
And on the fact that you're here.
Dead eye. Can you hear me?
Sean,
Sean, I.
Al,
Aye.
there you go. All
Aye.
right.
It's like herding cats.
No kidding. Okay, so construction of the harbor walk. Construction of the harbor walk, we've all heard about this from the Rural and Historical Society and from CPC. They're contributing 15% of the project and the balance of 20,165 from CPA for this access to the bay by means of harbor walk. Any other questions?
Any big questions? No. Move to approve Article 20, construction of the Harbor Walk. Duxbury Rural Historical Society contributed $3,560 with the balance remaining of $20,165 to come out of CPA funds.
Second.
Okay, Chuck,
Chuck, aye.
JRI.
Brenda,
That I.
Betsy, I,
Kathleen, I.
Sean,
Aye.
Teddy,
Yep. Aye.
Al?
Aye.
Very good, 900. Okay. Nancy, we got you to the dance on
no,
time.
21.
No, I think we have a couple
More.
more.
The file
Oh,
cabinet.
right.
we tried to
Oh,
get-
yes. 4, okay.
Yeah.
21, purchase of fireproof file cabinets. Anybody?
33.
We've done this over the course of time. She is for preservation of these books that are historic, and this is 33,000. Did she give you a clue as to how many more of these you're gonna be asked for, Holly?
No, she hasn't. The problem is also the vault is full right now. And therefore she needs a fireproof cabinet that will be placed out in her workspace. But again, all these files, all these records eventually become historic. They are saved forever.
Right. Okay,
We're gonna need an annex. to hold the file cabinet.
Right.
Right.
Is what the basement of the right building is.
in theory. All right,
Okay. Motion to approve Article 21, purchase of fireproof filing cabinets for town clerk in the amount of $33,000.
Second,
all those in favor, Chuck,
Chuck, aye.
JRI.
friend, I.
Yeah,
Betsy, I,
Kathleen, I.
Sean,
John, I.
by Teddy,
Aye.
Al,
Now, aye.
thank you, 900. 22, design of steel athletic complex visitor seating expansion. What?
So we'll turn to.
No, we'll not turn into the home side. This is not gonna build anything. It is for the design. We've made people sit on the wet ground for
Yeah,
as
it's
long as
in
I've lived
Memorial
here.
Stadium.
Probably JR. I think, did you have any memory of anybody inviting visiting teams to sit anywhere but on the ground?
They deserve it.
Small.
Competitive at the end of the day.
Anything you want to add to this, Holly? About our
Um,
hospitality to our neighbors, friends?
And
The only thing I can add, again, this is also to allow for some ADA compliance. There will be some electrical work perhaps that will have to be done. And the bleachers that are currently there, they tend to get blown over or perhaps pushed over. But so this is something that is, you know, certainly more permanent.
Okay. All right. Any questions from the crowd? Have a motion, please?
move to approve Article 22, design of the steel athletic complex visitor seating expansion in the amount of $48,000.
Second,
Chuck,
Chuck, aye.
JRI.
friend, I.
Yeah, aye.
Betsy, I,
Kathleen, I.
Sean,
John, I.
Al,
Aye.
Teddy.
Aye.
All right, 900.
The first two votes that were taken, I was here and voted yes, but I obviously wasn't being heard. Something was going on that I couldn't get audio or, so those first two votes should have me reflected as voting yes in the affirmative.
What about the third vote, Teddy?
Which one?
18.
The
Yeah,
one-
affirmative,
Anyway, the floats,
affirmative.
all right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Restoration of the Nathaniel Windsor Junior House windows. My only question on this is were the windows historic, and I was assured that they were, and those windows are the devil to refurbish, but they are certainly within the scope, I think, of what we do historically.
And these numbers are incorrect that are on the slide.
Oh, no, tragic.
They are requesting, they're requesting 41,328 from CPA. And the society is providing 27,000. Oh, that is correct. I am so sorry.
Yeah, the
20
the one that was incorrect was the draft that we had the night of our meeting.
Yeah.
But
okay, I
the
just wanted to
slide
check.
is correct.
It
yeah.
is correct. Thank you.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Yep, yep.
And, you know, this is a little day late, dollar short, but I'm assuming that your committee voted to approve all of these requests, right? Correct?
Correct. Yes.
All right. I thought you had said that before, but just to make sure that we had that for the record. Okay.
Yep.
Motion, please.
Move to approve the Article 23, restoration of Nathaniel Windsor Junior House windows. Duxbury Rural and Historical Society contributing $27,552 and is requesting $41,328 of CPA funds.
Second,
Any questions? All those in favor, Chuck,
Chuck, aye.
JRI.
Frank,
aye.
Yeah, aye.
Betsy, I,
Kathleen, I.
okay. Teddy, I'll let you go first, Teddy.
Said aye.
Okay. Sean,
John, I.
Al,
Aye.
beautiful, 900. Okay,
I'll have to let Nancy know I'm looking at the draft warrant and those numbers are still incorrect in the draft warrant.
That's why they call it draft.
Exactly.
There you go.
I'll let her know.
All right, 24, construction of the 2 tennis courts at Wadsworth. There was some conversation that because of a timing issue, you might have moved this article to the special. Is that still under discussion?
The CPC hasn't voted on that yet, but you,
Want
again,
us to delay voting on this until you decide how you want to do it?
no, I think, well, it's your, I
Vote
think,
no.
I guess my question goes to Mary, and that is whether,
Wait to till July 1st to spend this money, or once it's voted,
the
is it
funding
available?
is sufficient for spending in the, quickly after town meeting.
We want to do.
I think what we'll probably end up doing, Holly, is move this to the special, but it shouldn't make a
Okay.
difference whether you support it or not.
Right.
That's great.
Okay.
That's great.
Rather than motion, but whether it's in the special or the annual.
Let's get it off us, please.
It's an admin task. Move to approve
And-
our. Sorry,
We will, the CPC will vote, just to vote on this next time we meet.
It just, let's try to. Let's wait and vote it when we're doing the special articles.
okay.
All right? So we'll just wait on that if you decide to IP it. It won't take us 2 seconds to vote it if we need to in the future. We're not gonna do anything on the land purchase.
No, we unfortunately can't do that yet.
Okay, chin up, press on.
We are working very, as Nancy can attest,
Yes.
we are really working hard on this to get this
Yes.
moving forward.
Nancy, do you have one more minute?
I do. Do you want to do the capital light?
So just, we're gonna jump ahead for a second, guys. In Article 7, Capital Light, there is an item that Nancy is requesting via conservation, and so I'd like her to speak to it, and you can hold off on voting until we get to it, but just so that she can present it.
Okay.
Yep, so this capital light,
Wait,
are you guys there yet? Are you ready?
In 1 second, I'm gonna
Okay.
call up your.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
There you go.
Okay, so yeah, so this capital light budget request is for treatment of Lower Chandler Mill Pond. It's been previously done in multiple years. Typically, the cost is split evenly between Duxbury and Pembroke. And the estimated cost that I have now for the whole pond is 40,000, so it would be 20,000 per town. And I have made contact with the Pembroke conservation agent, and he's actively working to have it included in either their May annual, or they often have a fall special for their capital requests. But he is trying to get it into one or the other of their town meetings.
That's not in the warrant yet, right?
It is not, we're gonna get to that, so I just wanted her to present the information so you guys could ask questions, and I'll explain in a minute.
I'm assuming if Pembroke says no, the money doesn't get spent. Yep.
Correct.
Yep, that's what happened in the past.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. That's fine.
Doesn't make sense to do half a treatment.
If you have the treatment,
And
it's not the pond.
It's not going to stay on the Duxbury side, so.
Thanks, Nance.
Oh, you're welcome. Have a good
Have fun.
meeting, guys. Thank you.
Good, thank you so much.
Holly, are you
All right,
going to
take
jump
care.
onto
Try
Concom?
to not
Yes.
jump or fall down or do anything, Holly.
I'm trying not to, Betsy, Well,
All right.
that's why I'm here sitting in a meeting.
The crew chief needs you. Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye, thank you.
Take care. Have fun.
Thanks.
Okay. Thank you for allowing us to do that, Alex. All right, we are privileged to have the chair of fiscal advisory with us to help us through the capital budget. And although he's tortured us with his spreadsheets, he's going to now help us determine his plan. Article 6. Alex? You've got the,
I won't put my spreadsheet up.
yeah, not, are you really putting your spreadsheet up?
Yeah.
Oh.
Get your glasses out, Bex.
Okay. Hey, Mike. You psyched this, Bri?
Totally.
All right. Can we take everybody that's on the side there and shorten it so we can see the whole spreadsheet?
Yes, just so you know, you have a couple of people.
That's perfect, great. If, will we be able to know if they have a question? Okay, great. All right, super. Thank you.
So sort of start here for a second. So. Yeah, everyone submitted their current year and 5-year capital request into ClearGov. And this part of the spreadsheet represents everyone's FY 26 capital requests. The first columns A through G are if we had, so column A is if we had a department rank, we dropped it in there. Department name, description of the item, there were some notes put in, I think Mary, you dropped in some of these notes for. Some of the, there's not notes next to everything,
Oh,
but we
yeah, that
have,
was me.
yeah. And then column F is just me reconciling between, was the item in their presentation that they presented to us, because there's a little bit of difficulty getting a reconciliation between what people put up into ClearGov and what they presented to our committee, so. I was just, the column F you can, and column E and F, column F you can probably ignore, there was more internal, to our committee. G is the costs of everything, and then, we historically would look at, go through all of the funding sources. This year was sort of easy. It was either free cash or waterways fund, so you can sort of ignore columns H through V, for the most part. What gets to be, where we sort of spent our time was on columns X, Y, Z, and AA. The way fiscal advisory looks at it, and it's the way we've looked at it for the past couple of years, is to put items into a priority bucket A, B, and C. A is what you ended up seeing in Article 6 in the warrant. B is if there's additional funding available that comes available sometime. Like free cash isn't necessarily certified yet, or if there's other funding sources or grants. We maintain column B if there are funding sources that become available between when we vote on this in December and town meeting. Column C are usually things that can be pushed out a couple of years, if and when we need to. So that's sort of typically how we prioritize A, B, and C. Usually we look at things around, safety first. Safety and security sort of come first when we're prioritizing things. This year, our free cash budget was about $2 million. So that's that's the number we were sort of keeping to. You'll notice that I think our total request for the year was $48 million, which includes the $38 million of the PFAS filtration. So that's why the number is widely different from what you would see in a typical year. And what else can I tell you? Yeah, so we can walk through. I will filter this for just everything in column A. And make this a little bit bigger, so. Oops. Um, So this is now filtered with everything that we approved outside of the water enterprise budget. For the current year, which totals $2.295 million. As I mentioned before, our budget was about $2 million in free cash. It ended up being about $2.1 million in free cash and $139,000 in waterways enterprise, or waterways improvement, yeah. Improvement funding. So we can sort of walk through this, or if we can go department by department, I don't know, whatever is easier, biggest dollar, smallest dollar.
Let's start from the top and go to the bottom, kiddo.
Sure, all right, bridge repairs, $300,000, it's been sort of going on forever. It's been going on for 4 years now. It was part of the 10-year project to sort of get us to a bridge replacement model.
Alex?
Yeah.
Why don't I see?
Kid A, if he wants to.
Oh, got it. I'm sorry. I thought that's the first grade thing. Thank you.
Yeah, the otherwise.
Betsy, how are we gonna vote this? We're gonna vote line by, or let Alex get out of here and then vote it, or what? What are we gonna do?
Have a preference?
I don't care. Once we do it.
Yep.
We typically go to lines, it makes it a little easier.
Sure. If that's what, if that would be clear for everybody. Mary, do you have a preference? Okay, great. Let's do it line by line then as we go along. Anybody have any questions on the PowerPoint bridge repairs? We've done it for the last few years. I don't think that there's anything new or different other than, is it enough to keep the bridge going so that we have access to the beach? I think that'd be the only question.
That is a question.
He's got his hand up.
Oh, Teddy, sorry, what's the question?
Oh, it's just a question on this, the 250,000 for a study of the laying out the new part of the cemetery.
So
It
we're
just-
still on the PowerPoint bridge. We're gonna finish this and then we'll move down to the next one.
Okay.
We're looking at the stuff that's in column A.
Got it. All right, if
Okay.
you would come back, I'd like Alex to explain some more about, that seems like a ton of money to lay out open space.
It's not included in the discussion tonight.
Yeah, we could bring that up in another, but what we're gonna be just doing is looking at column A, because
Yeah,
that's
okay.
what they're looked at. Okay, anybody, any questions on that? So can I have a motion for,
Move to approve Article 6, DPW Powder Point Bridge repairs in the amount of $300,000.
Second,
Chuck,
Chuck, I.
JRI,
Brenda,
and
Yeah,
Betsy, I,
Kathleen, I.
Ted,
Aye,
Sean,
John, I.
Al,
Aye.
thank you. Okay. So you've got 900. Next,
next is the library chiller. It's a almost 30-year-old system. And it's in need of a $40,000 repair that they're not sure will actually fix the problem.
that's upsetting.
The system is, essentially it's at end of life. And needs to be replaced.
So what did the facilities, what did Katie say?
She said if we wanted to try to kick the can down the road and roll the dice with 40 grand, we could try it, otherwise it needs a new system.
It's her number one
Yeah, it
department,
was
right?
her, yeah, it was her.
So this is replacing the whole thing. This is not just sewing on rotten cloth. Okay, good.
So this was a high priority for her.
This was
Number
Katie's
one.
number one.
Okay, good.
Okay. Any questions? Okay,
Move to approve Article 6, Facilities Management, Library Chiller Replacement in the amount of $225,000.
Second,
Chuck,
Chuck, I.
JRI.
Brenda,
Yeah, I.
Betsy, I,
Kathy and I,
Ted, I.
Al first,
Aye.
okay, Sean,
John, I.
Teddy,
Aye.
okay, 900. Next,
Fire department, staff car, new Tahoe, 72,000. It is a replacement, not an add to fleet.
and the other one is
Last
last legs.
legs.
Is it gonna be given to any other department or to perpetuate the pain or no?
Going to the beach.
This one is not going to the beach. They have another car that I believe is going to the Rock, and this one is going sort of down the food chain. That they use to take to trainings.
So it's still gonna be insured and registered? So it is adding to the fleet.
No, because one car, there was a shuffle too.
it said that old staff car, this is the department, another department.
I believe there's. one going about.
Are you talking about the staff car?
Yeah.
It's going to the beach.
It says in the notes on the side here.
Where they died.
Yeah.
Yeah, in my handout, I put some notes.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay. And it's good enough to go to the beach? It's not just gonna be something that we now spend 20 grand fixing every 3 weeks?
And we will get more useful life out of it at the beach than we would for a trade-in.
Okay, that's fair. Any other discussion?
nope.
Okay,
Move to approve Article 6 for Fire Department, replace staff car in the amount of $72,000.
Second,
all right,
Chuck, I.
JRI.
Brenda,
Yeah,
that's the,
Kathy and I,
Sean,
John, I.
Teddy,
Aye.
Al,
I.
okay, 900. All right, next,
Safe boat, collar replacement and decking.
is this coming out of waterways?
Yes, yeah, the two blue ones are my notes that are coming, both, the next two are coming out of
I
waterways.
think he showed us pictures and it was pretty grim.
Yeah.
Any further questions on that?
Wait a minute,
Okay,
I'm just trying to get this, so that's 45,150 for the moorings.
Yeah, so we're on 93,874.
Okay, so
Oh, no, that got. That,
Just in a different order. And it got,
well, no,
and
it
it got
got
changed,
reduced. He found
he found a better price.
another place.
so we're now at 45,150.
No.
So the safe boat is now at 60,000. Down from 93.
It's
So-
in the warrant, it's corrected
Yeah.
60,000.
Yeah.
so the replacement of the collar and the decking is 60,000, not 93.
Correct.
Good job, Jake.
Yeah.
Okay,
Do you want to take them separately as they're different line items?
Yep.
Move to approve, Article 6 for the Harbor Coastal Management, replace town float chains and moorings in the amount of $45,150.
second,
Chuck,
Chuck, I.
JR.
Brenda,
Betsy, I,
Kathy and I,
Teddy,
Aye.
Al,
Ally.
Sean,
John, I.
so
801.
yes. Next,
JR.
we already talked about this.
Yeah, the
The
floats.
collar or the floats, yeah.
okay, move to approve Article 6 for Harbor Coastal Management, replacement collar and decking on 2004 safe boat in the amount of $60,000.
Second,
This is
Chuck, aye.
for-
JRI.
150.
No, it's not, it's 60,000.
It got reversed.
And I,
Nat, aye.
Betsy, I,
But they already voted that one out.
Oh.
Your spreadsheet is in a different order than
Got
the
it.
article,
Okay.
and so it's confusing.
I,
Al,
Al, aye.
Teddy,
Aye.
Sean,
John, I.
JR, I'm so sorry you voted so quietly. Did you abstain or did you vote?
I voted affirmative
Okay, so
on the
900.
call.
Okay. Police,
This is their standard 3.
Can we start with that? I'm just trying to go in the order of the warrant, if
Oh,
you don't mind.
sure. Yeah.
Security access controls for 57,000.
Yeah.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
So this relates to, putting up, bollards and security gates around the police station. To prevent people from driving around back.
so we cut it back from 130 something to 57.
yeah, 132 too.
So
Basically couldn't have.
you only recommended you cut it back from 132 to 57. Are we only gonna protect some of it?
just the good parts.
Security gates, putting use vehicle insurance, restricted areas, implementation was removed.
Yeah, what are they gonna do for 57, right?
Yeah, not much.
Looks like somebody you put out in column C. Which is what?
And so what is this? They don't have to get out of the car to open the gate? Is that what it is?
No, they were trying to prevent, non-police vehicles from going. Down if you're looking at the police station, the left side, and if you're coming from the right, going to the right, all the way in the back. And I believe we saw, I'm trying to find.
That makes sense because they sometimes, if there's a car that's evidence,
Yeah,
that's where it's out there. So it's not just people parking their car for their shift.
But are they gonna secure it for half the price?
I think that
I-
there, I think it was the fencing that they were going to have up on like the,
Yep.
up above, remember,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
remember
yeah,
he
yeah.
showed us?
so I think we approved the gates and not the fence.
Yeah, I think, which makes sense to me because that seemed kind of silly.
Right, yeah.
Yes, these are the, so the total for the gates, proposal number 1 was 57,000, yeah.
Yeah.
And then proposal number 2 is, mini mesh chain link, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
For 74, which was not approved.
Right, so this is gonna keep people from driving along the side of the building and getting in behind where a lot of the equipment
Yes.
and evidence is kept. And what's not coming is the fencing up above those berms, which sounds like a much better idea.
Move to approve Article 6 for the police department, property security access control, the amount of $57,000.
Second,
Chuck, aye.
JRI.
Brenda, I,
Yeah,
I was thinking.
Betsy, aye.
Kathleen, I.
Yeah, Teddy,
Aye.
Al,
Al, aye.
John, I.
Sean? Okay, 900. Fleet replacement.
this is their standard, annual request for. Fleet replacement, 3 vehicles, it is.
Does this include trade-ins? I don't think it does because we
It doesn't,
can't,
because trade-ins go to general fund.
well, we are
No,
getting,
no, a trade-in would offset the cost, but no, this does not include it. We are going to be using these to replace some of the vehicles that are used by other department heads that need to be replaced.
So what is the cost of that kind of taking all that equipment off the vehicle? Where does that end up?
Usually in the department who's getting it. Prosper usually picks up the cost of rebranding and what we've historically.
And taking off all the equipment?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, the equipment, if it can be used, if it can be reused, will be reused.
Things like light bars and stuff like that.
Depends.
So it could be go to the fire department, maybe whatever. Okay.
so is this going to be patrol cars to stay, so that they stay on the, what they determined to be the replacement schedule that they've used for
This is their standard. patrol
replacement
car.
schedule?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
So I gotta ask. Why did they put the note 2 Tahoes and 1 Ford?
That's my note,
As- as-
and based on their quotes, that's what.
So does that tie us to the 2 Tahoes and a Ford?
It does not, that was what they used for quotes,
Yeah.
so they would have
Thank
to
you.
update that and refresh it.
Okay,
They would have to just stay within the appropriation.
all right.
Move to approve Article 6, police fleet replacement in the amount of $269,051.
Second,
Chuck,
Chuck, I.
JRI.
Brenda,
Yeah, aye.
Betsy, I,
Kathleen, I.
Sean,
Sean, I.
Al,
Aye.
Teddy.
Yep,
You know,
Aye.
900. Schools,
So I think if we're gonna stay with the sheet, we'll go through roof repairs, 50,000.
we have roof repairs for 15.
And for 50 years.
Yeah, for
So this is just an annual appropriation to continue work on the roof to keep up with them, right?
Move to approve Article 6 for the schools.
So I'm sorry, one quick question on that. So if we do the 50 grand, it just goes to the school budget
No,
and we have no control over it?
No.
Or no, they gotta fix the roof?
They got-
Every one of these would be set up as an individual article, and the department head is held to that specific purpose.
Thank you.
Move to approve Article 6, schools, district-wide roof repairs in the amount of $50,000.
second,
Chuck, I.
JRI.
Brenda,
Yeah, aye.
Betsy, I,
Kathleen, I.
Sean,
Sean, I.
Teddy,
aye,
Al,
Aye.
thank you. 900.
Next to. I think so. Moving this.
And not doing the loading dock? Okay, so do you want to hold those until fiscal advisory discusses
let's
them?
hold- let's
Okay,
hold
let's
those,
do that. That's
yeah.
the best time.
We're gonna hold the district technology, 80 grand, and the loading dock, 100 grand. The school has asked us to reconsider and moving and allocating the majority of that fund to technology. To support their technology.
Where does this say?
We'll take it up after you guys have had a discussion. How's that?
Yeah.
Okay,
So the
So we'll move
Chromebook
down.
please, and the Chandler,
No,
okay, sorry,
80 grand. FY 26 district technology,
got it,
and then the next line down, the Chandler loading dock.
okay.
The schools have asked us to reconsider. So we just haven't had a meeting yet to look at those, but.
Okay, coming back.
We'll go back.
So isn't that thing where they showed us the picture of the loading dock that was crumbling?
Yep.
That doesn't seem prudent. Chromebook,
So Chromebook, this is year 2 of 4,
okay,
got the Chromebook leases.
Move to approve Article 6, schools, Chromebook lease, year 2 of 4, in the amount of $145,000.
second,
Chuck, I.
JRI.
Brenda,
Yeah, aye.
Betsy,
Kathleen, I.
Teddy,
aye,
Al,
Aye.
Sean,
Sean, I.
okay. And this was a hot topic, I bet.
This was the topic.
This was
Uh,
the party, the
This is
party.
the party.
Okay.
So $350,000 curriculum, does technically meet the definition of capital.
Can you explain that?
A useful life of longer than 5 years and greater than $25,000.
Is it a
It's,
tangible thing?
it's stuff and services, so it's, it is a physical curriculum with,
Is it software
books.
and hardware?
software and training. Software, books and training.
I wouldn't think training would be considered capital.
Well,
You can't break one from the other, which you're saying.
yeah, it's all, the curriculum is it's a package.
Which is it, is this the
This.
literacy or is this
Yes,
the
it's K
math?
through 5,
This is the
Literacy.
literacy.
literally.
So we pushed the math.
Literacy.
So it was, the original request was $650. 350 was for the K through 5 literacy program.
Sorry, yeah.
And then math was for the high school was $300,000. So we did not fund the math. We funded the literacy program, which needed to be replaced. I don't know if you guys saw in the news that schools were using a literacy program that was not accredited.
Right.
It needs to be replaced.
Yep.
This is the replacement.
Okay.
Do we know what the evergreen status is for this curriculum? Like, how many years do we anticipate having this being current?
I think it was 5 years.
Sean, this
I
was the
might
one that this is a 5-year, they're paying for the 5-year program.
Yep.
And it was like insane if you said, well, can we break this down and pay for it annually? It was gonna be like 4 times the amount for it to have an annual payment versus the 5-year payment.
That's right. Thank you.
We good?
So this is for 5 years.
This is for 5 years.
Minimum.
Yeah,
Minimum.
Article 6,
And then this is also the one that ties to the middle school.
This is younger. This is K to 5.
Right, but it's the same
Oh, wait,
program that
yes,
they
it will
bought.
lead, yes, it leads into the.
so it's all the same, it's
Yes.
consistent throughout.
So now you have K through 8 in the same curriculum, correct? Other than that, I'd be making a noise.
Move to approve Article 6, schools curriculum in the amount of $350,000.
Second,
Chuck, I.
I know, it's tough.
JRI.
and I,
That
I vote aye, but I hope it doesn't start a
Tough
series
precedent, yes.
as, so. Kathleen?
Kathleen is going to say aye with reservations.
Sean,
Sean, aye.
Teddy,
I with the same reservations.
Al,
Aye.
So Alex, the other 300, did they dig it up? In the rest of the budget, or they're just not gonna do it?
I'm not gonna do it.
Nothing.
The immediate need was to get that consistent program.
Well, they had to, well,
They had to do
they
it.
had to replace the curriculum that was non-conforming, I guess is the best way to
Yeah.
describe it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would just hope fiscal advisory and the schools have some real heart to hearts on curriculum being an annual capital expense.
Well, I mean, if you look at, well, we can get through to Article 6, but we can have a conversation afterwards, but there's a lot of these like. Requests
Okay.
that are. Infinite, sort of like roof repairs, HVAC repairs.
Yeah, but it should be an operational budget, it's not in the capital budget.
So.
Um,
All right, let's keep to, all right, 58,000 for the SBR electrical upgrades. So these, if I remember correctly, are all at the wastewater treatment plant over behind the. I say the high school, but it's not the high school, it's where I went to high school, over by the steel building.
Yeah, there you go.
And,
So the SBRs are the tanks that process the waste, and this is much needed electrical upgrades to that facility.
yeah, and so the next 3 are all interrelated. It's electrical upgrades, it's generators and, maintenance of that. System.
Well, what that's gonna save us money though, getting the generators in there, because every time the power goes out, they've gotta get it pumped, right?
That and, if I remember correctly, we weren't able to open school a couple of times because I guess it gets its power from a different part of the grid. So the school had power, but that didn't have power, so we couldn't
Open,
open.
okay,
So,
we've got 3 lines.
are we at the sequential batch
Yes,
reactor?
Sequential batch reactor.
Okay.
Electrical
Move
upgrades.
to approve Article 6 for sewer department. A sequential batch reactor electrical upgrades to the amount of $58,000.
Second,
Chuck, I.
JRI.
Brenda,
Yeah,
Betsy, I,
Kathleen, I.
Sean,
On I.
Al,
Aye.
Teddy,
Aye,
okay, thank you. And then we have the sewer system repair and maintenance. Is this also for the
Same.
schools?
Same facility.
Same building?
all 3 of these are the same facility.
And it had been a while since these had been upgraded?
Yeah.
Okay,
Are they, do we know, Alex, if they're on some kind of a maintenance schedule?
They are going on to one, but I think with, sort of Mark's hire, he's been discovering things about water and sewer in general that need to be,
caught up.
yes.
Okay. Thank you. Move to approve Article 6 for sewer system repair and maintenance in the amount of $200,000.
second,
Chuck, I.
JRI.
Brenda,
Yeah,
Betsy, I,
Kathleen, I.
Sean,
On I.
Al,
Aye.
Teddy,
yeah, I just have a question about the addition there. It comes out with a odd $530. I don't see that in the breakout of these.
wait, what are you talking about?
Total, of the general fund.
48,000, 6,000, 48,000, 6,530. Get
Sorry, what are you talking? The bottom line.
Oh, the bottom line?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's exciting. That's inclusive of, I think we'll talk about that after we finish this. I think that was inclusive of, some PFAS stuff. But it's
Okay.
on the screen, it says 48 million,
On row 97.
this.
yeah.
No, to the left of it, but that's not what you're voting, to your left.
No, we're just voting
Voting the
yeah,
the 200 for the,
He's got lines hidden, that's the problem. Yeah.
you know, Alex is just playing with us, Teddy.
uh-huh.
Simple as that. All right, we have.
So Alex, I gotta ask,
Sure,
in the beginning, when we were going through facilities and maintenance and things like that, Kathleen and I went down in the basement of the pool, and it was a pure wreck. Valves don't work, everything else doesn't work, but it doesn't show up here.
Oh, we're getting there, so just
Okay,
sit tight,
I'm sorry,
we're getting there.
all right, good, sorry.
Yep. Move to approve Article 6 sewer system repair maintenance, the amount of $200,000.
second,
Were you guys just voted that one?
Did I?
We're doing generators.
Did we do generators? I'm sorry.
we liked it so much that we thought it was.
Mark will be thrilled, but you're
Yeah, I was
not
gonna
supplementing
say.
the amount, I can tell you that right
It
now.
was so worthy. Brian, do you have any questions? Cause if you have a question. Pop in.
No, I'm doing a lot of listening.
Okay, great, okay. I just didn't want you to think you were being ignored. Generators? Is that what you?
Yeah, 250.
And what is WWTF?
What?
Wastewater treatment
Wastewater
facility.
Okay. I have to ask.
Oh, you spicy little finance person. Go ahead.
All right, move to approve Article 6 sewers generators in the amount of $250,000.
Okey dokey.
second,
Chuck,
Aye.
JRI.
Brenda,
Yeah,
let's see,
Kathleen, I.
Sean,
John, I.
Al,
Aye.
Teddy?
Aye.
Okay. All right, water enterprise, water main repair replace. That seems to be a weekly or event.
Yeah.
So what are we doing on that?
That's enough money. Okay.
Um. So, um. The original ask was 2 million. We were operating off of a, estimate of around $750,000. For,
Retained earnings.
well, we're,
Do you mind,
yeah,
do you mind if I just sort of, give you
yes.
an introduction?
Yeah.
Okay. So as we know, the capital program is funded primarily via free cash for general fund purchases and via certified retained earnings for the water enterprise. The question is, have we received final certification of our free cash and our retained earnings? And as of today, the answer is no. And if you all remember, I'm sure you're all well aware that we had a vacancy in our town accountant's position. Our town accountant left in early fall and was not replaced until this spring. So there was a break in service in that department, which delayed the closing of the books, which delayed the completion of the audit. So our balance sheet and free cash documentation has been submitted to the Department of Revenue, and we are currently awaiting their final certification of those amounts. I anticipate that we should have that certification back within a week. And once that is done, then we will be able to, I will share final numbers with you. We are working on estimates that I had projected at the time that we closed the books, and that was what was given to Alex. So they worked with the budget that they were given. I do anticipate that our water retained earnings is going to come in higher than the estimate. I was very conservative when I worked with Alex in the beginning. And I've had subsequent conversations with him that pending the results of that certification, what I would like to do is potentially increase the amount that we are appropriating here for water main replacements. As Alex said, the ask was for $2 million. I do not believe that we're going to get up to that level, but it is anticipated that we will be able to appropriate more than 570,000. As we know, water main replacements are very, very expensive. And this is the number one concern of the water superintendent, is to make sure that we have annual funding dedicated to addressing those issues. So right now, this evening, the request is for 570 based on the budget, but we will come back to you once those results have been certified. Is there any questions on that?
Yeah, let's wait and vote on it once it's been certified. Why vote twice? Do you want us to vote twice?
And it doesn't matter, however you want to handle it.
Or you could vote on the other line items and just.
Yeah, I'll vote on the other items, but if this is the one that you're going to adjust with the,
If we
when it's
have,
certified.
if we have more funds, this is where it's coming.
Okay, great. We'll put that in the same bucket as the school thing, and then we'll work from there, if that's okay with everybody. Everybody in cahoots on that? Okay,
Yes, we'll wait.
then let's go to replace vehicle number 6.
This is a truck with about 160,000 miles on it,
Just broken in.
just broken in, so time to go. It's also used in, snow removal.
And where is it going?
It is happy hunting grounds, I remember.
I hope. I just don't want to start stockpiling these cars when this can get back to where we were when you did the fleet management study, and all of a sudden we found all these cars that were still insured, still registered, or being driven, and you know, it's a slippery slope.
Yep.
And I thought we had kind of committed to, if it's not good enough for us to use, it's not good enough for us to keep.
Yep.
Are we still there?
Yeah.
It's going away?
I have in my notes going away.
Okay.
We'll check back with you.
And we'll hold you to that, Alex.
Move to approve Article 6, Water Enterprise Replacement Vehicle number 6 in the amount of $100,343.
Second,
Chuck, I.
JRI.
Brenda,
Yeah,
Betsy, I,
Kathleen, I.
Ted? Ted?
It's on mute.
Teddy, you're muted. Sean?
Sean, I.
Attending, not a panelist. Oh, he must have.
Al?
Aye.
Teddy?
We can't join that. He's joining right now.
Okay.
It's back.
Aye.
Okay, beautiful. There you go. All right, 900.
GIS mapping. Oh, sorry. GIS mapping, 50 grand.
For the harbor.
No, this is the mapping of the water lines.
Water lines. Why am I in the, why am I in the
Yeah,
harbor?
yeah. Well, it's all water.
It's all water.
It's all wet. Okay,
Move to approve Article 6, Water Enterprise GIS Water Mapping in the amount of $50,000.
second,
Chuck, I.
JRI.
Brenda.
Yeah.
Keep catching me off guard.
if we don't pass an override, does he have enough people to do this?
To do the
Or is-
GIS?
Yeah, is that a third party or?
That's a third party.
Okay, thank you. Betsy, I.
Kathleen, I.
Ned. Ted,
Aye.
Al,
Aye.
Sean,
Sean, I.
thank you. 900. Lead service line, lead, geez, yep, okay, yep.
English.
Use the other eye next time.
Get our heads into the water department.
Yeah, so we have until 29 to replace the lead.
Don't hold me on the date, but that sounds.
Sounds
about
right, so we need to take an inventory of all the lead leads.
This is to be clear, these aren't pipes that are lead, these are just the
I think it's the
connectors,
fitting.
the
yeah.
fittings,
The
the
goose something.
neck side.
Yeah.
goosenecks.
Something or others, yeah, there's, I guess there's like 2,000 of them.
Oh, that's
And this is a
awesome.
Mass DEP compliance requirement. So we need to do an inventory first so that we can break it out into phases and tackle the project.
Woof.
Move to approve Article 6, Water Enterprise Lead Service Line Inventory in the amount of $30,000.
Second,
Chuck, I.
JRI.
Brenda,
Yeah,
Betsy, I.
Kathleen, I.
Sean,
Sean, I.
Al,
Aye.
Teddy,
Aye.
900. Okay, so we're gonna wait on the number for the water main. And what was the other thing? that
Loading
we're
dock,
waiting on?
loading
Oh,
dock.
loading dock, yeah. Right. Anybody have any words of wisdom for Alex on either of those two items that he can bring back to his discussion? Feel free.
no,
I'm still trying to wrap my head
I
around.
think we know what they are.
I have, if this loading dock is in the repair that we saw, this is just the type of move that we make that makes it worse.
Yeah.
Fix the loading dock.
It's a liability.
It's a liability, it's all things, it is like the poster child for all things bad that we have done.
And where was this, where do you want to put this money?
technology, so the original technology asked the FY 26 district technology, that's 80 something now. I believe that original request was.
300.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that came down at 80,388, and then want to take the repair to the loading dock and put it in technology. I can't square that.
I can't square that either,
so it's gonna be a conversation.
Okay,
but if anybody asks what we thought.
you can't square it. That's I can't square it.
That's it, I can't square it. Anybody, guys, no, any opinions over there?
Nope. I'm good.
Nope, everybody's gonna keep quiet.
That's it,
All right,
never
good.
mind.
Alrighty then.
Okay. Did we want to have a conversation about the 5-year?
Yep.
Projections? Okay, so I can.
Yes, please.
Very small, but very,
Where's that? At the
uh,
bottom?
I can,
Thank you. You have a spreadsheet for that.
I got a spreadsheet for that. It's very small.
Okay.
Where's 7, Betsy?
7's here. Were you gonna talk about your 5-year projection before we go on to capital light?
Yeah, yeah. You want?
Yes, please.
Okay,
Yeah, I mean, I wanna free you from jail here.
So this is, from ClearGov, of where all the department heads have uploaded their projections, and budgets for the next 5 years. It's staggering for a couple of years, mainly due to, let me do this. Whoa, this will be better. There's a couple big projects that are skewing the numbers. So typically, go to the bottom for a sec. So, typically we're in, our requests are in this like $6 to $10 million, I would say on average, is the run rate of what of projects that come before fiscal advisory in a given year, is somewhere in that
6 to 10, you said?
$6 to $10 million.
Okay.
Yeah, and you'll notice that the next 26 and 27 are skewed by these 2 large PFAS mitigation projects, one at 38 million and the other 35 million in 2027. So it's the year-to-year comparison is a little off because of those 2 large projects. Yeah. Yeah, and I guess, just overarching, a couple of things to sort of note are, we have some new department heads, who are taking an inventory and have different subject matter expertise than prior folks, and have noticed things that, have maybe been not maintained the way they feel they should have.
Neglected.
So, water main replacement is one of those items. This is actually wrong. Mark needs to go on and update it, but this is, Mark's estimating a run rate of, $1.5 million a year for the foreseeable future. There's things like we talked about earlier of, roof maintenance, that's both schools and town. HVAC maintenance, both schools and town, of, in total, roofs about $100,000 across school and town, HVAC in that
Is
same
the Percy Walker pool in that?
roof.
No, not in the roof, but the actual infrastructure for the Percy Walker pool.
What do you mean infrastructure?
I'm saying that
Like the filter.
all the things in the basement of that building.
You were in there.
Yeah.
JR, do you have?
So under Article 7, we're gonna talk about
I
the
see.
backwash tank,
I saw that.
and that's Katie's #1 priority.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
there is this 150 out in 2 years. But that was one, building repairs then.
Okay.
The pool we have done,
The mechanics.
I wanna say we've done heaters and filters in the recent past, and just refinished a new
Yeah.
water.
Yep.
Okay.
Um,
We've also just replaced.
Can I ask just a general PFAS question,
yeah,
basically? We're getting now to get a taste of what it's gonna cost us to do this PFAS stuff. Is there a time when we ought to, before we spend a whole bunch of money engineering wise and all that kind of stuff, is there a time when we ought to ask the townspeople in Duxbury if PFAS might be all right? They can drink water out of bottles or whatever and use the 95% of it. I don't know that figure, but let's say 86, 85, I don't care. There's a very small amount of that water that actually goes down the pipe, basically.
Public
Right?
water
That can
supplies.
affect you. I mean, they're
Public
very,
water supplies, we have to,
huh?
for public water supplies, we have to follow the DEP and the EPA standards.
They're telling us to do it.
It's federal.
But we're in compliance right now.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah. Right, I understand the compliance levels and all that kind of stuff.
I think what's it, I think, just to not to pile on, JR, but I think that the whole PFAS discussion is one that's not only it's literally global, right? But I don't believe that the town of Duxbury, the $2 million or whatever we would allocate to that is really gonna solve the PFAS problem. Right? So I don't know if we have a Superfund situation here from the federal government and the EPA needs to come into play, but I don't believe that it is gonna be solved by a local remediation.
There, if you get a chance, take a look at last night's board meeting where they were talking about the sewer rate, but assume the
I
water and
was
sewer
there.
rates.
I mean, I was on.
The sewer rate.
Because the backside of that, the water and sewer rates were discussed last night at the board meeting and it
Okay.
touched on PFAS and the impact that that'll have, because
No, and I saw that. As I say, I zoomed in.
yeah, the PFAS discussion is about $140 million in
Yeah.
total for 10 years.
Okay,
Yeah, and what I'm saying is that, right now, we're in compliance. Right, but I think that as this discussion matures nationwide, that there may be remediation that is above the town responsibility.
if this is one thing that I personally could kick down the road,
Mhm.
just to see what happens as they develop. You know, things are improving all the time and in different things and different methods, and we're discovering
Exactly.
things and everything else. And I'd hate to do it at an expensive time of year when we could, or a time in life when we could wait 5 years and say, okay, this is the way we're gonna do it, and not, I don't think we have to be up front. I don't think we have to be the first town to spend $1 on this.
This is all about risk management.
Yeah.
So we know we're compliant. Our water is compliant. Our water will continue to be compliant. The issue, to Rainey's point that came up last night, is there's more than one way to address this issue. And it's not about sucking out as much water you can and all the PFAS you can and treating it. It's controlling how much water we actually pull out of the ground, leaving as much PFAS in the ground as possible. At our current withdrawal rate, we're still compliant, we will be compliant. So the issue is, in the summertime especially, when we start really cranking up the pumps, we're pulling out all that much more PFAS. And that's the stuff we're gonna have to treat. So as you heard from Rainey, one of the issues that we're looking at is incentivizing folks to use less water with the expectation that if we can maintain a lower water volume or water withdrawal from the aquifer, which has the PFAS in it, then that may, to your point, Kathleen, that may allow us to continue to be in compliance without building all this expensive infrastructure, certainly not in the near term. And I agree with you, JR, frankly, there's lots of technology out there today, all of it's prohibitively expensive, in my opinion. I think there'll be more technology that comes out. I also think there'll be more of a total of government approach as opposed to, hey, this town needs to do this, you need to do this,
It's not sustainable, you can't, no.
and there aren't enough contractors and experts around to even begin to address that, so. We're all getting scared by a huge number. I'm scared by the huge number. But I'm very cautious when it comes to this issue of we have to do this and we have to do it now. Again, risk management. I could be wrong, and there's, some PFAS bomb goes off that has been sitting there, you know, and all of a
But it's
sudden we
gonna
go
go
off the
up for all
charts.
of us.
You know,
Right.
but, you know, I can't justify. How many, whatever, what's $100 million, what's 9 figures, 10 figures, 11, 12, whatever. And put that on the ratepayers over time, because that's my understanding, it goes to the ratepayers, which all of us are, taxpayer, ratepayer, it's the same thing for all intents and purposes. We're having discussions and disagreements about that at the board level as well, so.
Once a use tax,
Pardon?
right? Once a use tax, right? Water is a use tax, right?
Right, yeah, 'cause you're not really buying the water, because you're recycling it back. But you're right, and we're all coming at this from a position of what's in the best interest of the residents. Nobody wants anything in their water except hydrogen and oxygen. And maybe
course.
fluoride, depending on your perspective.
That's
on
not
that.
even, that's not even the conversation, but it's back to your original, what you were originally saying, it's one of risk management, and it's one of understanding, right? What's on our horizon, we are in compliance now, it's on the watch list.
It's definitely in the watch list,
Right.
and yes, there is a compliance deadline to get to 4 parts per trillion, to maintain 4 parts per trillion, we're under that today.
Right.
So if we can manage the water withdrawal and keep the concentrations where they are now,
We should.
then we're not gonna get them to zero. Even with $150 million worth of infrastructure, who knows if we can get it to zero? But we can keep it to under the standards that we're gonna be held to.
You didn't change the rates last night, though, did you?
No.
And when do you perceive that, I mean, it's
Another month
basically
or
the only
two.
way to control it is shock and awe and with the rates, right?
Yeah, without forcing people, I joked last night, I said, without forcing people to catch rainwater, flush the toilets. You know, we can't make water so cost prohibitive that nobody can use it, or you need to take out a second mortgage to pay your
Yeah,
water
Or you
bill.
drill your own wells.
But you can drill your own well, but we'd rather folks stay on public water, which is treated, maintained, you know, safe.
You're speaking to my heart, but I'm just saying that left to folks' own devices, there are other options other than using public water.
There are, and if you really want to get to zero, if that's possible, you can also buy things for your own home that can filter even more finely.
Yeah.
But that would
Kinds
be
of-
more cost.
I know shocking off.
One of the things, I think, you know, I like the idea of containing it, you know, we're in compliance, let's try to keep it in compliance. But I do not think for a second we ought to think that the state or the federal government is gonna bail us out on this.
Oh, no, I don't think that, well,
Yeah.
especially since we're in compliance.
Well, I mean, first of all, I mean, we voted as a town that we don't wanna take state funds for not complying with MBTA, so, you know, they're starting to flex their muscles with that. Federal government's starting to flex their muscles about giving money to the states. I think we're gonna be on our own for a long time on this.
At least 4 years.
But there are valid arguments to the alternative as well, which is, hey, if you don't get it going now, it kind of like what happened with DPW, if you wait, it's gonna be even much more expensive.
Well, there's always that side of the.
Right.
And less
Unless you do
technology
technology.
improves.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Well,
didn't
sure.
wanna drive everybody down
But-
the rat hole.
Yeah, and I'm kind of, this one gets me up to, frankly, this issue, so.
I will throw just a small wrinkle in there, and I probably should just be quiet, but, so PFAS aside, there are still some issues
Right.
that do need to be addressed with iron and manganese.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
yes.
those are
Nothing
still
new.
on the radar, and those are not inexpensive projects either. So I just wanna make sure that everyone understands it's not
Just people.
just PFAS that's driving a lot.
I like the point of whacking them early. You know, go big early, get your 30% the first couple of years, whatever it takes.
Wow.
We're gonna drop from there. Anyway,
All right,
let's get back to schedule here. Thank you.
Yeah, I didn't mean to derail, other than just note that our normal run rate for annually of requests is in that $6 to $11 million, and these two projects are throwing off those numbers. But, you know, nothing in here is wildly unusual, you know, it's our There's some fire engines in there's some ambulances in there under the normal replacement schedules and things like that. I think we talked about the things that I would draw your attention to are, what we just talked about was the, water, main replacements, roof, HVAC, building envelopes and some of those things that are, haven't been maintained the way they maybe should have. With updated eyes and expertise on those areas, are things we need to, that are going to be, reoccurring items for the next.
Yeah, I would also add, technology.
Yeah.
Technology is going to start to become a very large part of our conversation. Because, we are now almost 5 years out from COVID. And COVID changed our world and everything went digital and every community had to purchase all sorts of technology in order to be able to offer remote options, whether it was classroom learning or meetings or employees getting their jobs done. And so a lot of that technology is now 5 years old. And we know that technology has a much shorter lifespan than most everything else. So we are going to be facing investments in technology, so I don't want anybody to be surprised by that.
Right. No, but also evaluating,
And
what we bought
to go.
5 years ago, and is still what we need today.
Correct. Correct, you're absolutely right. Yep. We can't wait for our new CTO to get on board.
Yeah.
We've got a laundry list for him.
You've already worked on perfect.
All right, beautiful. So that's it for Article 6 and a little glimpse into the future. I wanted to see if we could.
The one thing I would note, Betsy, just as a final note is, and you guys are acutely aware of this, but if there's no override this year, there's probably no free cash, which means there's
Next year.
no funding for Article 6 next
Yep. We know it.
year. So,
Gotta put it out there.
for sure.
Yep.
Anything else I should touch on?
Nope, you're
No,
welcome
you
to
did a great
stay,
job.
but, you don't have to, we won't be hurt, but we'd love if you stayed. We're gonna talk about capital life. Back to the Percy Walker Pool, JR.
I'm just gonna flip over here for 1 second and share my screen.
You guys all set? Teddy, Sean, any questions? I'm sorry, and Al, I don't mean to ignore you. Mike, you all set?
Good.
I'm good,
thank you.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, so, Article 7 in the warrant, surprise reading, there's a couple of modifications, to Article 7, which we will get to at the bottom of this chart that I have displayed on the screen. But there were a couple of items as I was doing my reconciliation that I failed to send over to the town manager, so we'll get to those in just a moment.
He loves a good surprise.
That being said, just by way of background, for Article 7, which is our small equipment, items, one-time purchases under 25,000. What we did, during the course of the last, 6 to 8 months is work with the department heads and addressed a large number of, smaller capital items using ARPA funding. And we were able to address a number of projects that were very much needed for our departments, for which there would not have been funding otherwise if it were not for the ARPA funding that was made available. As we all know, that program expired on December 31st of this year. All of our funds needed to be obligated. So with that being said, there were a handful of smaller items that did not make the ARPA cut list, if you will. And those are the items that are listed here up on the screen and are included in the warrant as well. And then at the bottom, I've added 3 additional items that need to be added to Article 7. So the first one, JR, to your point, is about the first request for $17,100 is to replace the backwash tank over at the Percy Walker Pool. And also so Katie is online, Katie can speak to that.
Oh, good.
With the ARPA funding, we also did a couple of other things at the pool. There were some benches in the locker rooms that were severely rusted. and needed to be replaced. There were safety issues. People could cut their foot open on the footings of those benches. So we have since replaced those with ARPA funding. And also handicap access to the pool. There was a problem with the handicap access on some of the doors that have been addressed. So you're not, because we used ARPA funding, and ARPA funding does not need to go to town meeting, there were some things that were accomplished using that.
Good.
But this one here, the backwash tank is at its end of useful life. There it's rusted. I think there were pictures in ClearGov that everybody has had access to take a peek at that. And Katie is asking for the $17,000 in order to replace that. This includes safety features, valves, and monitoring capabilities, so that they can do remote monitoring.
It was a little frightening down there.
It was.
Yep, and she's aware of it. Katie, if you want to jump in and sort of talk about the ground level of the pool and the state that we're in.
Yeah, so currently the belly of the backwash tank is rusted out. None of the isolation valves work, to shut anything down. And so there are no safety features. So if any lines blow, we're losing the building. Because none of the safeties work in the entire building.
That's a cheery thought.
Really cool.
Do you wanna do the same,
So do we want to wait till July to do this, or do you want to include this in the special so that it can happen sooner?
So these items here with free cash funding can happen sooner. I handle things differently than my predecessor, and it is an allowable use of free cash to be able to utilize it.
As long as we're not playing Russian roulette on whether
Correct.
this thing is gonna be able to work or not. Katie, I don't know if it makes any difference, but I was over there with the kids and none of the sinks in the ladies' room worked.
Okay. I'll check that
So-
one out. I don't know about that one.
There you go, another thrill.
with the show curtain?
All right, so do we want to vote these individually, or do we want to go through, there's only about half a dozen of them?
We did the 6 individuals. Should we carry on?
Okay.
Yeah. Would you want
Sure,
to?
this is, yeah,
Um,
please God fix
move
this.
to approve Article 7, pool, replace backwash tank in the amount of $17,100.
Second,
Chuck,
JRI.
Brenda,
Mother of God, yes.
Kathleen, I.
Sean,
Sean, I.
Teddy,
Aye.
Al,
Aye.
Okay, next item is repair exterior finish at the crematory. And this includes replacing some damaged wood, thoroughly cleaning the exterior, and applying a fresh coat of stain to the facade in order to protect the exterior of the crematory. Lots of R's there.
Yeah.
mhm.
And if anybody has gone over to look at that building, and you will understand
Have
that
they
it is.
stopped using that well for watering?
I know that well is causing some damage.
Move to approve Article 7, facilities, repair exterior finish at the crematory in the amount of $19,200.
second,
Chuck,
JRI.
Brenda,
Betsy, I,
Kathleen, I.
Sean,
Sean, I.
Al,
No, aye.
Teddy.
Aye.
Can I just, I'm still reeling from the backwash tank. Is that bad enough that it should be a transfer from the reserve fund?
We could consider that.
Katie,
Have you got a guy that can do it? What's
Yeah.
the lead time on personnel and?
Katie, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I have it tentatively scheduled to shut down the pool on the 24th of February.
Yeah, we can do a reserve fund transfer.
It,
Do you guys want to vote that tonight, and I will get the paperwork to Betsy?
yeah,
As long as she's got a
that's Russian
contractor.
roulette. I
because-
mean, we're gonna lose the building if this thing blows. Why in God's name would we think that that was something we could wait a
Okay.
couple months on?
Okay, so go.
From where to where, Mary?
It would be out of the reserve fund, and into the Percy Walker Pool expense line, or actually into facilities. I'd put it into facilities so that Katie has access to doing the backwash tank.
Do you want to leave this vote as it stands now in case that doesn't happen before town meeting?
If in case what
Makes
doesn't
sense to
happen,
me.
if you guys are in favor of doing a reserve fund transfer request, then all you need to do is make a motion right now to transfer 17,100 out of the reserve fund and use it for this purpose.
So moved.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay.
Second, but let me ask you this, before we do that. Would we then not vote this in Article 7?
It would just be eliminated from
Yeah,
Article
take it
7.
out.
All right,
Move to reserve, a,
Reserve fund transfer.
thank you, reserve, I even wrote it down, and I'm still struggling. Reserve fund transfer in the amount of $17,100 to facilities for the replacement of the backwash tank.
second,
All those in favor, Chuck,
Chuck, I.
They are right.
and I,
Yeah,
Betsy, I,
Kathleen, I.
Sean,
John, I.
Al,
No, I.
Teddy,
Yep, Ted, aye.
okay.
should we revote 1 to take it out? And lower the total number? Real.
Yeah,
It's gonna be eliminated. It's just, we're not that formal.
Okay,
okay,
All right, so now we're on to police duty here. So bear with me, I will explain. I did put a note on the sheet that I gave you in the handout. Police has requested some additional funding, $21,385 for some additional equipment that is categorized as duty gear and life-saving equipment. This includes 35 tourniquet carrier pouches that would be attached to their belts, 4 AED devices and 2 handheld radar units.
Handheld radar units or traffic control, Mary?
Correct.
oh, and that's under duty gear,
Duty
right?
gear, correct.
Okay,
needed stuff.
anybody got a problem with any of that?
Necessary
No.
equipment.
Move to approve Article 7, police duty gear, life-saving equipment in the amount of $21,385.
Second,
Chuck, I.
JRI.
Brenda,
yeah,
Betsy, I,
Kathleen, I.
Sean,
John, I.
Al,
No, I.
Teddy,
Aye,
okay. All right,
Okay, great, thank you. Next item is for the Lands and Natural Resources Department. They are looking to replace their existing 2014 Skag mower with a new Skag zero-turn ride-on mower for $20,385.
what are they gonna do with the old one? Can they use it for parts or what?
It will probably end up being put on the surplus block. And we have had very good results lately with declaring surplus. And I had the pleasure of meeting the gentleman who runs one of the surplus websites. I was at the MMA show that I was at this week, and I was chatting with him about the surplus auction sites. Turns out he is a Duxbury resident. And so it was a pleasure meeting him. And we've had some very, very good results with some recent surplus items that he has been able to take care of. He's very excited about a piano that you guys just declared surplus.
Oh, how about that?
Yeah.
Move to approve Article 7, Land and Natural Resources Skag mower in the amount of $20,385.38.
second,
Chuck, I.
JRI.
Brenda,
yeah,
Betsy, I,
Kathleen, I.
Sean,
John, I.
Al,
No, I.
Teddy,
Ted, aye.
okey-doke.
Next item is working with MAPC, Metropolitan Area Planning Council, in order to develop the hazard mitigation plan. This is the long-term strategy plan that is required to be filed with NEMA and FEMA.
What hazards are we trying to mitigate?
Natural disasters. We have to put a plan together and file it with NEMA and FEMA on how we would reduce our risk for loss during a natural disaster. It's a required plan, and without it, we are not eligible for some potential NEMA and FEMA reimbursement funding. We have to have this on file, and ours has expired.
Yeah.
So I will tell you that our interim planning director is looking for a grant, but in the meantime, we need to make sure that we have funding available to complete this project.
Okay.
Move to approve Article 7, planning hazard mitigation plan in the amount of $24,000.
Second.
Chuck,
I have a real problem with this one.
okay, you.
Well, we have to agree to it, but I mean, what happens if there is no FEMA?
Or
Oh,
Federal judge,
that's dark but appropriate.
federal judge put a stay on that today.
till Monday, Rainey,
FEMA's
until
not-
Monday.
FEMA's not gonna end.
Well, it might not end, but I'm not sure how fast the money's gonna flow.
Either way, we still need the plan.
Okay.
Okay, all right.
Brenda.
Yeah, Betsy, I.
Kathleen, I.
Would flood insurance go away if FEMA went away?
Oh, that'd be something. For, Sean?
Sean, I.
Yeah, I know.
No,
Al,
No, aye.
Teddy?
Aye.
You have
Yeah.
the payouts and all of those
You
premiums.
got a
that
plan.
have to-
What a racket.
All right, next one, this is out of the Water Enterprise Fund, chlorine analyzers. These are devices that are used to test for chlorine levels in our water treatment and distribution system. It's a standard piece of equipment that is utilized by our water department. So this would be to purchase some additional, I think it's 4 devices on hand.
Move to approve Article 7, water enterprise chlorine analyzers in the amount of $10,785.
Second.
Okay.
Yeah, all right.
Brenda.
Yeah, aye.
Betsy, I.
Kathleen, I.
Sean?
Sean, I.
Teddy?
Aye.
Al?
No, aye.
Okay, great. If I can draw your attention up to the monitor, these remaining 3 items were not submitted to the town manager in time to make the warrant cutoff. So we're going to talk about them tonight. First one is district-wide asbestos abatement. Our facilities director has requested $20,000 to begin the process of remediating some asbestos in some of our school. I'll let Katie speak to it in 1 second, but just so you know that this is going to more than likely be an annual request for the next couple of years until we have fully contained the issue. So Katie, do you want to talk a little bit about what your priority is?
Sure. The state has changed their opinion on asbestos in schools. As long as it used to be that as long as the asbestos was intact and not flaking and falling apart, it was considered fine. The state is now pushing us to remove any asbestos in the buildings and get rid of it completely. And also, if we kept the asbestos that's currently intact and safe, and we had a flood or we had some other devastation in the building, it's going to hold up the process to make the repairs because we'd have to get it abated. There's a lot of steps to it. You can't just go in and fix the water leak.
So what do you think is gonna be the total, how many years of 20,000 a year is this gonna be?
5 years.
Oh, so it's just 100?
Yeah.
Okay. And what building?
Both
Or is it just assortment?
Alden and Chandler have asbestos. But we would tackle the areas, in hallways and things like that, and then go to secondary places like closets. And the
Okay.
reason I didn't do 100 right off the bat is I still have to manage it. I still have to oversee it. So that's why I
just
broke it up
wanted
over
to
the 5
know.
years.
Oh, yeah, I got it.
Move to approve Article 7, facilities, or is this, it's facilities, right?
Correct, yeah.
Okay, for district-wide asbestos abatement in the schools in the amount of $20,000.
Second.
Chuck, aye.
Yeah, all right.
Brenda.
Yeah,
Betsy, I.
Kathleen, I.
Sean,
Sean, I.
Teddy,
Aye.
Al?
No, aye.
Okay.
The next one was the one that Nancy Rucco spoke about at the beginning of our meeting. This is the treatment for Chandler Mill Pond, shared with the town of Pembroke.
Move to approve Article 7, is that land and natural resources?
No, Lower Chandler, conservation.
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 Conservation, Lower Chandler Mill Pond, weed treatment, the amount of $20,000.
Second.
Chuck, I.
JRI.
Brenda,
Yeah,
Betsy, I,
Kathleen, I.
Sean,
Sean, I.
Teddy,
I,
Al.
No, I.
So just with the understanding that if Pembroke doesn't do their 50%, this won't happen. Okay,
Okay, and then the
Betsy,
last,
can I just ask, to Rainey, I thought the county had some sort of equipment that, the towns we could use to, pull out.
Yeah,
bids.
Josh, a few years ago, probably. God, 5, 6, 7 years ago. Josh went and got a. Shared weed harvester. But I don't know I don't think it's the same thing, because when they say treatment, that sounds.
It's a
like-
chemical
this is
treatment.
chemical
this
treatment.
is a chemical. No, the harvester is used over an
Very
island,
often they
island
deposit
Creek Pond.
alum.
Okay,
They usually do an alum dump. They go on a boat and cast it out. It kills the Eurasian milfoil at the bottom.
Yeah, which is why we need Pembroke to participate, because we can't control and make sure our
We're
chemicals
worried
stay on
about
our
this.
side.
I get that.
And
I'm
alum. is
thinking
a very
weed, I thought it was like a
expensive
physical.
No,
thing.
no,
Yeah.
that's island Creek.
It's the chemical.
Okay, got it, thank you.
Perfect. Okay. The last one is for the harbor master. So the harbor master, when the town has approved funding to replace the main float, it was done a couple of years ago. And Jake, or maybe even last year, I can't remember. But when Jake went out to refresh the bid, he was short by $8,500 on the bid in order to complete the project. So this is to request the additional funding needed to complete that project, and the funding source would be the Waterways Improvement Fund.
Move to approve Article 7, for the harbor master main float, additional funding needed to complete the project in the amount of $8,500.
second,
Chuck, I.
JRI.
Brenda,
yeah,
Betsy, I,
No, I was
You're
talking to
making-
Randy. Yeah, no, you did great. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Kathleen,
Kathleen, I.
thank you. Sean,
Sean, I.
Teddy,
I,
Al,
No, I.
I'm sorry, Al, I.
Yeah, I, yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Kathleen, in light of the fact that we peeled 17 off of this, but then I guess we added potential 48, is there anything that was removed from this list that you want to rethink now?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Anything that I need to swap in with the, no, I'd rather save it.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you.
Nope, just asking.
Okay. So that completes Articles 6 and 7. Well, I have you guys, can we also tackle 9?
Sure.
Betsy, while Katie's on, do you want to ask her about the loading dock?
Oh, Katie, are you still here?
I am.
Okay, so Alex has, had, the schools, I guess, have asked the fiscal advisory group to, reconsider the Chandler loading dock because they want to use those monies for technology. I have some serious concerns on that, as it seems to be, you know, I saw the pictures of the loading dock and it was pretty rough. Do you have, want to weigh in? Alex would like to hear your comment on that.
Yeah. So I think you guys may be mixing up. I had asked for 250,000 for the entry and ramp. And that showed the pictures of the bad corroded walls and ramps with holes. And then the loading dock, which showed a drainage line with a that was collapsing. And we had DPW help us out and do a temporary repair to the drainage at the loading dock. So we could push that off a year. And I was asked today to get a hard quote I got a rough estimate from a contractor on the entranceway, the ramp. So I think Lisa pushed off the loading dock because we can buy a year. Because we have some temporary repairs we did.
So Does this not sound like the mistakes we've been making for the last few years, just kicking the can down the road? It needs to get fixed. It was on your list.
It
not
is on
gonna
my
get
list.
Done.
It is on my list.
Are you being diplomatic?
I am.
Okey-dokey.
I think it's another compromising with the available funding.
Yeah.
I mean, so Katie's gonna have a conversation with, Lisa and Danielle and come up with their priority of those projects.
Wow.
Well, they're saying the ramp is priority over the loading dock.
No, Katie did.
So we didn't fund the ramp. What fiscal advisory funded was $100,000 for the loading dock and part of the school's technology request. School has asked us to reconsider those two and pushing the loading dock for a year and moving those funds up to the technology, which would get it to about 60% funded for the technology budget for the current year.
What's that do to the ramp? Or what happens to the ramp?
So the ramp was getting pushed. The ramp was getting pushed into next year. Anyways, it's like it was lower on the priority than both of those two things.
Okay, because when Danielle made her presentation to the joint finance committee and select board meeting, I got the impression that the ramp was pretty high on the list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is why I asked why it cost $250,000. Seemed like a nice ramp. But I understand Mary, it's not a $250,000 ramp. Right?
Oh, I remember you asked that.
Or,
Yeah.
are you talking about
At Chandler.
Chandler?
Yeah.
It depends on how much they're replacing, but I can tell you, I did a project probably 10 years ago over at the Kingston Intermediate School. And that ramp was very expensive.
So Katie, what you're saying is that this ramp, it's a drainage issue and
No, it's two different issues.
No, two different projects.
And
The loading dock is a drainage issue.
Correct.
Yeah, so I think it's a non-issue, right?
yeah,
I think we're
we're,
It's
yeah,
only
not on our
drainage
radar, so-
issue that they want us not to do.
Yes,
Take that $100,000 and
Yeah.
throw it into,
Into
throw a
technology.
portion of that into technology.
correct,
into-
yes.
yes.
My recommendation is to just leave it and let the school department discuss it with fiscal advisory for recommendation.
Yeah, fine.
Perfect.
I'm game with that idea.
Excellent. All right, so Article 9. The amount is $20,000 funded with free cash for electronic balloting, which is a standard article that you guys are used to.
Near and dear to my heart.
what did you think was, number?
Started with you, friend, didn't it?
The article number? Oh, 9
Oh, thank you.
in the warrant.
So, yeah, and is this account if we have monies left over in case we ever had a special in the fall?
This gets set up as an article and it does carry forward.
Okay, so we have monies if we did have a second one. Great. All right. Any questions?
Move to approve Article 9, electronic balloting. I don't have to have the number, but it's $20,000.
Second,
Chuck, I.
J.I.
Brenda.
Yeah,
Betsy, I.
Kathleen, I.
Sean,
John, I.
Eddie,
Ted, I.
Al,
L.I.
Mary, you said it would be for 2 meetings potentially, because sounds like we're gonna need a special for the MBTA do-over.
So there's some funding that's available in the existing article, so I would defer to Susan to answer that question because. The cost is variable depending upon the number of devices that she needs to.
Okay.
We typically lease a certain number, and if we are anticipating a large meeting and have to lease more, it will cost more. But any funding that remains from last year's article would be available for use as well.
I think she has some money left over in that account.
Okay, good.
From what she said to me.
All right, so that's all I have for this evening. You guys got through quite a bit, which is great.
We are happy in our little room here, not that we don't love meeting with you, Brad, but it was pretty exciting to be back here and get some work done.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, please do.
Thursday, we're scheduled to have Council of Aging, Veteran Services, Library, and Rec come in.
Yeah.
Right? I think we could probably get those fairly quickly. I
Right.
don't think there's a lot of heavy lifting there. Could we perhaps continue to vote on some of these other articles that are still outstanding that we need to vote? That have to change from A to B?
Are you talking budget or are you talking warrant articles? I'm sorry.
I'm talking the override budget.
Yeah, Article 5B.
Right.
Yeah.
Are there other items on this list that had been originally submitted that these are the ones that have differences from A? And we wanted to vote them because we had to vote the difference.
So the ones
I
Mary.
want to get as many
accounting
into that
finance
meeting as
you
we
want.
can, so that as we get further down,
Okay, so.
if to February sixth, we want to vote.
Right, so I will tell you that what is queued up for February sixth is sort of the fixed costs.
Yeah.
You know, employee benefits and
Yeah, got
insurance, et cetera, and then the other remaining general government departments that have not yet been covered. So my understanding, I wasn't there last week, but you guys did get through some of them through
Yes, we
town
did.
manager, through planning, et cetera. So what remains that has differences is the human resources department has a small difference, and then the finance departments, my 3 departments.
Yep.
And I have already notified those department heads of that meeting date of February sixth, not this Thursday. So I don't want to put them under the gun if they're not prepared for this Thursday. They have been preparing for the 6th of February,
That makes
Okay.
sense.
to
I
be
think you're
fair.
referring to the ones you've already
Yeah.
reviewed though.
Well, that's the problem. I'm not exactly sure which ones are still outstanding.
Yeah, if you highlight them pretty easily. They can certainly vote the ones that they've already reviewed. I mean, they reviewed my budget.
Right.
Reviewed the plan,
Just like we did last week with you,
fires,
That
police,
was my
and
intent.
all those.
to just wrap up as much as we could.
I would, because wait, you see, you're gonna have to look at the, you gotta go through the one, and the board's gonna be
Okay.
the same. I'd grab as much as you can.
Let's see we can just get a list maybe of what we haven't voted on, changes on, and we know.
Oh, it's actually what you haven't reviewed, because I can highlight what you reviewed and what you can vote on.
It's not, they'll go in the last spreadsheet here, right?
Yeah, it's actually Article 5B in the warrant. I mean,
Right.
You'll see it all. There's only 54 lines. I think.
Yes, right.
If
It's
anybody
in the
needs
warrant, right?
Correct.
Okay. We're good?
Yep,
So wait, I'm not clear.
I'm
So
not
on-
either.
Page 24.
Mhm.
I just want to make sure that we're all clear on when we go into Thursday, what the expectation is, right? So beginning on page 24 of the warrant is what we're talking about. So Brandon, if I understand your question correctly, you would like to start voting on some of these numbers.
Yep.
For the departments that you have not met with or
No,
heard from.
All the ones they've met with.
No, the
Okay.
vote, we all have agreed will hold to the end,
Okay,
and we're shooting for the 6th. What I wanted to do is review, if you looked at page 24. Because that first meeting that we had back on January 9th, we didn't get to a lot of the things that were scheduled.
Mhm.
We never discussed them, and they are sitting right here, accounting, assessors, treasurer collector, those kinds of things, but I think we can get to those quickly. And my hope was, even though they're not listed for the 30th, we can knock those off. So we would be prepared to be.
This is what's
That's my
changed.
goal.
This is what's changed, right?
What's
Okay.
changed,
Yep.
and they're all here.
Okay, I misunderstood. You wanted to.
All of them, we've decided earlier, we're gonna vote all of it on the 6th.
Okay, the whole thing?
Yes, sir. Who's gonna be sure we didn't miss any? Exactly.
Are so we're on the 6th, just so that I'm clear, we're going to be voting on all 99 lines?
No,
Yeah.
50, well, there's just there, well, they'd be voting on Article 5B, of which there are about 54 lines.
Just but the 5B, okay, okay, got it.
Have we met with, town council yet on how this has to proceed at town meeting? Cause I would love to,
Exactly like we've always done.
I can't, no, for B,
Yes, it's gonna be exactly like we do A.
so all 99 lines.
No, Only the 54 lines that are highlighted in the article.
In 5B.
So what if, and I'm not trying to be
Go ahead,
contrary
please,
here.
fire away.
What if, when we're doing B,
Mhm.
that somebody decides that, yes, you know, I would like to add X amount to a line that we hadn't discussed.
They can do that as long as they don't exceed 1 point. As long as they don't exceed just around $1 million.
So, but if we're not reading all of those lines when we do 5B, how is it procedurally that they would say, hey, I would like to add 100,000 to this, you know,
Once
the moderator's fund,
5A is done, it's closed, it's history.
but it's not 5A, 5B is everything, because.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
It's just a-
It's just, and that's done purposefully.
Okay,
So they
If you
pull it
want to go up and
separately.
down on all the lines, they do that under 5A.
so the only thing that 5B contains is the contingency?
It's right in front of you.
No, I'm looking at it, but I'd rather look at Randy.
Hey, just see it. We'll see
All
it.
right,
Again,
It's only to contemplate those I'm calling it 54 lines, because that's about what it is, 54, but
so at that moment in time, if somebody said, I would like to reduce the amount of money that we're putting in the selectmen's
Mhm.
office and move 1,000 of that to, you know, the moderator. They can't do that
they can only
anymore.
do it, they can only do it to an affected line.
Well, they could ask to reconsider it.
They could,
They could
If
ask
the
to
moderator
reconsider.
allows it.
yeah, if the
Right.
moderator allows
Okay,
it.
all right, I just want to know the rules. I do not want to go through all of this and then have the AG tell us, oh, too bad you did it wrong.
Yeah, me neither, that's why I asked today.
Okay, that'd be great if we could have that, so I could,
You
yeah,
just did.
okay.
You
Well,
did.
have that on a cheat sheet when it comes up at town meeting.
Yep.
Well,
right there with
talk
us.
to the moderator, well, making sure. that-
Right,
I'm actually meeting with him tomorrow to do just that.
All right, good, thank you.
Okay, great.
we have 2 minutes.
okay.
Yeah.
Care to vote the minutes?
Oh, yeah, minutes. Oh, mother of God, yes. No, we have 2 sets
The
of
minutes of
minutes,
December
thank you,
19th,
Linda.
2024.
What
I
is
moved
it?
them as written.
All right, do you have a second? Second. All those in favor?
Same.
Aye.
Chuck abstains.
Aye.
Okay, Al,
Whose hands up?
Al,
Yes,
oh, Teddy?
Aye.
All right, so we've got an abstain, so we've got,
Well, if you weren't here, you were staying, right?
Right.
So you guys weren't here.
I was here.
okay,
19th December?
Were you here? I mean, I've got it in front of me and you were not here.
I wasn't even good.
No, that was when Miss Betsy was gone too.
Oh, okay, I abstained.
oh, shoot. I was
Thanks, Chuck.
Gotta keep
Yeah,
track of these
people that were
guys.
in person,
Look at
Sean,
that. Like
Yeah,
a field
I
trip.
remember there was a
JR
question
now.
whether you're gonna get forum.
It's nice to be noticed.
Or missed.
yeah.
All right, do we want to, can we just revisit that, please?
Yeah.
for a
Betsy.
Second here, as we all seem to be
Open that.
pretty
Al,
excited
Al,
about it. Al,
That's it.
yeah,
Yeah, on the meeting minutes on the 23rd, I'm noted as absent. I was actually on the Zoom, but I guess somehow I didn't connect, but I was certainly present on the Zoom call.
alrighty then.
Zoom as well last week, right? On Thursday?
I was,
I couldn't see the Zoom list. That's why I couldn't,
No,
because.
that's okay. I'm not trying to be, critical. It's just
no.
that's what happened. Yeah.
All right,
you were at.
all right, let's just recap this. On the 19th of December, I was not here.
Absent.
I was absent.
Nate,
Absent.
Kathleen,
Absent.
Sean,
Present.
I had you as present. Ted, I had you as present.
Yes.
Friend,
Myself, I was present. JR, you were present.
Yep.
And Al was present. No Chuck. Right?
Right.
All right. Group. So do we want to revote this?
yeah, I do.
Okay.
I
Let's
feel
roll
like
call. How
it's,
about we roll call?
yeah, roll call.
Chuck abstaining.
One
I
abstain,
approve.
one approval. Friend approved.
That abstain.
Betsy abstained.
Kathleen abstain.
Sean approve.
Ted approved.
Al?
Al approve.
Okay,
Al
got it? Okay,
509. 504. 504.
okay. All right.
Rich, you wanna try
now-
the night of the January 23rd? We dare?
Sure.
Let's try it.
You know, I don't know, dare to dream, friend, go ahead.
I do have a correction on the 5th page. Under legal services. It says, someone raised some questions on legal services, and his name was given as Brian McGee.
Oh, sorry.
So it was either Brian or
Or Mike.
Or Mike.
Mike.
Maybe
Who asked that question?
I asked something about legal. Oh, it was to go through you, make sure we had a process.
Is that you?
Yeah. Yes,
So with Brian Glennon then?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Brian, not Brian McGee, although a lovely name.
It would.
And shall we again go through the absent and unabsent list to make sure we have that right? Betsy, I have you as attending.
I'm yes.
Nate, you were here. Kathleen was absent.
I'm not following it closely.
Kathleen was absent. Sean was here. Ted was here. Brent was here. JR was absent. Al was on Zoom and Chuck was here. So we got that right? All right.
Cool beans.
Move to approve the minutes of January 23rd, 2025 as amended.
Second.
Chuck,
Chuck,
Abstain.
Brenda, aye.
That I.
Betsy, I.
Kathleen abstained.
Sean, I.
Ted, I.
Al, I.
Al? Okay,
Aye.
good job. Proud of us.
That was longer than almost Article 7.
You know, nothing good happens with this crowd after 8:30. I just want to, that is a little
Second.
fun.
All in favor?
All those in favor? Aye. Teddy,
Thank you.
Al, John.
Yeah.
Aye. Thank you and good night.
Peace.